Now, the craziest thing about Soundhound's story is how fast its share price climbed. You see, in 2024, it soared over 1,000%. Now, that's enough to turn a small stake into something real big, real fast. Part of what fueled this monstrous run was NVIDIA's investment. They're a big name in AI and hardware and software. Also, Soundhound's third quarter results showing revenue up nearly 89% year over year. In fact, people were calling 2024 the year of AI, so you can imagine how anything with AI in its name might have gotten a chunk of that hype. And when you add a voice AI into the mix, it's almost like throwing gasoline on the fire. Big jump. Can't complain really if you were along for the ride. But let's not forget, when something goes up this fast, the bigger question is, how long can it last? Because as they say, what goes up must come down, or at least come back to earth if it's way too overvalued. Now, some watchers out there are worried about the exact scenario. They're saying that at one point, Soundhound was trading at a price to sales ratio that was well over 70, maybe even over 100, according to some metrics. Now, which is pretty high. And I know a lot of high growth companies have big valuations, but this one seems a bit extreme. So, does that mean it's a no go, or does it mean they're the next big thing that'll keep defying the odds? So, obviously, they had a huge revenue growth in 2024, and 2025 is projected to be another triple digit revenue growth year. That's no small feat. Deals in the automotive space have been a big help, but so has the restaurant sector. I know you're probably thinking restaurants plus voice AI. What do you mean by that? But apparently, businesses like drive-through chain love the idea of automating the ordering process to reduce labor costs and speed things up. And it does make sense, right? SoundHound's voice AI helps with upselling as well. That means if you roll up to the drive-through, the AI might say, "Hey, you want to make that combo for just $2 more?" That can really impact profits for restaurants. Big players like Panda Express, Church's Texas Chicken, White Castle, Five Guys, Chipotle, and a bunch more are giving it a try. If you ask me, it's a pretty smart move, especially since labor shortages and employee turnaround are huge headaches for fast food joints. For the automotive side, some big names like Kia and even certain EV makers in the Middle East are testing out SoundHound's voice for AI for hands-free control. You could hop in your car and say, "Hey, turn the air conditioning," or "turn on the air conditioning," or "Where's the nearest coffee shop?" and get instant result. The company is also claiming to handle multiple languages and heavy accents better than the average system, which is definitely a selling point if you're thinking globally. They say they have something like 25 languages in their library. They also have a bunch of patents, over 150, with another 100 plus pending. That's quite a moat if the tech truly is that special. Yet, here's the thing. As of right now, SoundHound is still unprofitable. They're in a negative cash flow territory, which means they're burning money faster than they're making it. That could be a red flag because eventually you need to turn a profit to sustain all this growth. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The total addressable market for voice AI is pretty massive, over 140 billion. Some say it's growing possibility up to 160 billion by 2026. Another estimate pegs the conversational AI market at around 13.6 billion in 2024, growing more than 29% each year. But either way, that's pretty decent. The question is, does SoundHound get a big enough slice of that pie to justify these nosebleed valuations? They have had about 0.5% of the market so far, which means there's definitely room to grow. But guess who else is out there? We got Microsoft, we got Google, we got Amazon, we got Apple, we got Meta, and a bunch of other smaller specialized players. That's stiff competition. Big tech could basically swallow up a chunk of this space if they decided to flex those big muscles. Though apparently they might not focus as aggressively on voice AI specifically since they have so many other AI irons in the fire. That might give SoundHound a window to keep carving out its niche, but we'll have to see. If you look at how SoundHound is approaching it, they're not trying to build an AI assistant for everything under the sun. They're going after these enterprise verticals, automotive, quick service restaurants, customer service lines for banks, insurance companies, etc. That's a narrower path, but it might be exactly what they need to stand out. They have a voice AI that reportedly hits 95% accuracy on good days and can handle more complex prompts than the competition. I mean, that's exactly what you want to hear if you're an enterprise customer, something that is both fast and accurate. Because if it's not, people are just going to get frustrated and hang up or never use the feature again. Let's talk about the partnerships for a moment, right? On the automotive front, they're working with Stellantis, which has a bunch of brands like Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and so on. SoundHound Chat AI is apparently getting rolled out in about 7 different car brands under that umbrella. They're also expanding into customer service, financial services, healthcare, energy, and retail, which could be huge if they nail it. Voice assistants can handle advanced queries faster than typical chatbot. Now, about those margins in Q3 2024, Soundhound reported 49% gross margin under GAAP. That's not terrible for a tech company, but it's on the lower end for a high-flying software players who sometimes boast margins in the 70% range. Operating expenses jumped 112% because of acquisitions, especially in areas like R&D and sales. If you keep doing that while your revenue is just starting to ramp, you could see some real growing pains. And it showed in the net loss, about 21.8 million for Q3. They also had a negative return on investment capital over 50% at one point, which basically means for every dollar they spend, they're not getting a positive return yet. Then there's the valuation question, right? Remember, those insane price to sales multiples, at times the stock forward PS was over 100x. That's basically the market screaming, we think you're going to dominate your field in the future. But if you don't deliver, watch out. Stock based compensation is also quite high, which can dilute existing shareholders. Plus, short interest has been creeping up, some say near 25% of the flow, which indicate a healthy group of investors betting that the price will drop. That's always something to keep in mind because it can fuel volatility either up or down. From an industry standpoint, voice AI is becoming more mainstream. We have voice assistants over on our phones, in our homes, in our cars, and soon maybe even the drive-through or phone ordering line. But the race is cutthroat. Microsoft has Bing's AI, Google has Assistant, Amazon has Alexa, Apple has Siri, and let's not forget about the smaller specialized providers. Soundhound's advantage is that it's focusing on complex language prompts, real-time processing, and enterprise-level solution. But as AI evolves, the big question is how long they can maintain that technical edge. If big tech decides to throw billions into bridging that gap, a Soundhound could be in for a tough fight. So the big question here, is this stock a buy or a sell or a hold? Well, it depends on your risk tolerance. If you're the aggressive type who believes voice AI is going to shape the future and that Soundhound's got the secret sauce, you might consider nibbling on dips. Some watchers say waiting for a 20% or even a 48% pullback from recent highs before jumping in. Because remember, the price soared over 1,000% last year, and that's not something that repeats easily. On the other hand, if you're more cautious, you might want to wait until you actually see them edging towards profitability or at least some improvement in margins and cash flow. Right now, it's still very much a story stock that's riding the AI wave. There are analysts out there who suggest the fair value might be closer to $5 or $7 per share, well below where it's currently trading. That implies a major potential correction if hype does go down, or if the broader market sees a pullback in tech or AI valuation. Then again, if they keep landing big partnerships and ramp up the revenue growth, they could surprise a lot of bears. But hey, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just some guy you're talking to about stocks on YouTube. Always do your own research or consult professionals if you need help making a decision. In my opinion, though, I will pass on this stock. I think it's far too early, far too much risk, and I think it's going to drop a lot. So let's bring this all together. Phenomenal growth. Soundhound's voice AI is expanding fast with revenue up nearly 89% year over year in Q3 2024, plus major deals in automotive and restaurants. Still unprofitable despite the rapid rise. They're losing money and burning cash. That cannot continue to go on. Valuation is sky high. The forward PS ratio at one point was 100x, which is extremely rich. Some see that as a red flag. Others call it as price of the future growth. I don't know. Big tech might focus elsewhere temporarily, but that doesn't mean they won't eventually come after the voice AI segment. So like I said, my personal take, I'm definitely going to pass on it. If you're somebody who truly believes in Soundhound, you can definitely wait it out. I'm sure it's going to drop. It had a rapid rise. It has to come down to earth eventually. And then I would pounce on it. But I think there are way too much players in this game. I feel like this type of technology, I've worked with it personally. I see a lot of room for other competitors come in with better products and just expand much faster. But I want to hear from you though. Am I missing something? Do you see something like voice AI becoming the next big thing, or especially Soundhound? Or is this just like an overshadowing the real numbers? Drop a comment below. Maybe you used one of their voice assistants at a drive-through and loved or hated it. I'm curious to know. Let's share some real world experiences. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can keep this channel growing. It really helps me keep the content coming, and I appreciate every single one of you who stuck around till the end. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and as one politician famously said, trust but verify, especially when it comes to high-flying AI stock. Catch you guys later.